Welcome to the Gals Guide podcast. Join us on an adventure to get to know famous and infamous women from around the world. Each of our presenters has a pick. Is she ancient history? Is she breaking news? Is she safe for work? Well, that's up to each presenter. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back. I'm Katie, and I'm joined by Leah, Bonnie, and Julie sharing our Defiant Gal. Bonnie already talked about Olga of Kiev, but before we dive back, I want to get to know something rebellious about our gal pals. I would like to know, how do you all see defiance as a form of rebellion?
I can start us off because I usually have to write it for the newsletter, so I feel like I'm already cheating.
Crib notes, searcher.
I know, right? It's kind of like I pre-gamed or something like that. I know. I won't put it in the exact words that I put it in the newsletter, so how about that? I'll go with saying no is rebellion, but showing no, I will not is defiance. That is what it is for me. It's that showing of it is that defiance.
I like that.
But it can mean anything.
I found a very short, which I like right now, a short definition. It's just bold resistance.
Yeah.
Bold resistance. And that could be anything. It could be
whatever version of bold is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like the gal pals and the library and all that, it's about small, bold resistance, because that's that ripple effect that'll go out, right? This little library in Noblesville made such a large ripple effect in the whole community in so many ways. And I love when people do that and think about the ripple effects. It's going to affect two people here, and they tell two people, and they tell two people, like the commercial used to say.
The telephone game of it all.
Yeah. So I liked that bold resistance.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out if they are not necessarily just two things that go together and they're equal, or that one comes out of the other. Like, I feel like you can have a rebellion, but I think you need defiant acts in order to make it a rebellion. Because just sitting there and like talking or writing about how you want to change stuff, like it's not really going to change stuff. I think you have to actually do acts of defiance to change things.
Unless it's like Katie does and writes to the people who can make the change.
I was going to say.
I'm so proud of you. Anyway, she sends emails to congressmen, y'all. It's great.
Let's not forget the golden standard of the pamphlet. I'm going to go ahead and define the pamphlet as a defiant act.
Yes. I do love a good pamphlet. Oh my God.
The defiant act of the pamphlet, which I feel like we need to be recreating at this time. We do have the social medias, which are today's pamphlets, but I think we need to dig into the old-fashioned pamphlet. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah. I got a bunch of postcards if you want them.
Sweet.
Bonnie, I will come pick some up and start writing them on my Friday nights.
We don't get tax exempt stamps, do we, like the government workers do?
I mean, if we did, we probably don't anymore. Is that fair?
Right. Yeah, probably not.
Right.
We're probably on that list too, right? It's like, do not sell stamps to these people. They're using them as weapons. No.
Words are weapons. They're the best kind.
I think everything you guys all express makes so much sense, and it all intertwines in a way that you can't separate, right? It all has to go together. And I have to say, the gal I'm going to talk about, I think that she started with a defiant act that she had no idea was going to lead to a rebellion. And I find that really intriguing and inspiring and fun about her story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to introduce you guys to Kathrine Switzer.
Yay!
Does that name ring a bell?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you guys know about her?
Yeah, we were texting earlier. I was like, I swear it's one of those ones where it's like, didn't we do her? And we're like triple checking the list. It's like, I swear we've done there. Like,
no,
I must be crossing with like another timeline where we had already recorded Shirley Chisholm and a bunch of these other people that I'm like, I swear I remember being in the room when we recorded them.
You were in the room when it happened?
Yeah. Generally, yeah.
But apparently not.
What was your first knowledge of Kathrine Switzer?
She's the Boston Marathon runner. The put on a number, signed up under K dot, and then started running.
And they attacked her.
They attacked her, right?
Yeah,
Can anybody visualize that photo?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah?
It's
Okay.
ingrained. Yeah. Mhm.
And well, it definitely made the Times 100 most influential photos list. So that's pretty incredible. So
Yeah.
even if you don't know necessarily about her or her background or why the photo happened, you might know this photo. You might
Mhm.
see it and say, "Oh yeah, I know this." Or maybe you're a sportsy person and you know her through that.
Mhm.
Or you're like us at Gals Guide that just love to see women being defiant and rebelling. So you
Mhm.
know a lot of women who are the first of the first.
Mhm.
And she actually is not the first woman to run the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
She is just the first woman to run it with a number,
Mhm.
which that's how you run it and it's like legit.
Yeah.
If you don't have
They
a race
track you
number,
and yeah.
yeah, if you don't have a race number, you didn't really run it. It's
Mhm.
not real. It didn't happen. So she is the first woman to run and finish it with a number pinned to her shirt front and back.
Which is a
And
big
that
deal.
famous
Yeah.
photo, yeah, you remember, happened because one of the race officials was trying to pull the number off of her clothing so she could not compete in the race.
Mhm.
Because the
Mhm.
Boston
And in that
Marathon,
photo, I think she's wearing like sweatpants.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
she
like, I
is.
don't know what time of year, but I'm like, I would not want to run in sweats.
That's one of the
Like,
things I meant to look up that I didn't get around to. So if you guys with your quick fingers and while I'm talking want to look at what time the Boston Marathon happens,
Yeah.
I have to say I don't know, but I do know she said that day that it was sleeting and then eventually snowing.
Oh. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to say at least the modern one happens in like April. I
I
feel like.
believe it happens the same time every year because it's like some kind of celebration of the American Revolution. They
Mm.
tie it into that. So it's like of course, a very big deal in Boston. It's a very respected and kind of revered thing, which is why this particular official that attacked her
Yeah.
has been known to assault other runners, not just her for being a woman, but really anybody he didn't feel like was taking the race seriously.
Mm.
Is
So
he
other people
still
that
alive,
dressed
that
up
guy?
as characters
Yeah.
or silly, or there was one that tried to wear like a snorkel mask and flippers and run,
Mhm.
and he had a fit about that. So, definitely the biggest part of it was that she was a woman, but in his mind, he equated that to her not taking it seriously or her trying to like do a publicity stance.
Yeah.
However, that was not the case for Catherine.
Mm.
She just legitimately loved running and loved the challenge of running. And I feel like nobody asked her like, what did you think was going to happen?
Mm.
Right.
I mean, I don't know that that's a fair question, but we all have before we go do something, we all have in our mind what we think the many outcomes could be, right?
Mhm. For
So she
safety,
had to have
generally.
known.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had to have known it was a defiant act because this race had been going on for 70 years, male only.
Yeah.
Mm. Mhm.
But it
Officially. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, but it also had nothing in the rules that said women couldn't compete.
Mhm.
There were no laws that said a woman couldn't enter this race and run this race.
One guy was really mad. And
Yeah,
then he got his buddies. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And
So
actually when
wasn't that guy well known for I mean, before her, wasn't he known for doing that stuff?
yeah, yeah, I mean, he was
I
known
mean,
for being very
after, yes, but I didn't know about before.
protective of
Yeah.
the race.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
There it
dignity.
was, like, definitely his baby, it meant a lot to him. Although, ironically, they kind of became friends later in life, the guy that attacked her. Maybe
Huh.
not friends, but they had a rapport later.
Oh,
Gotcha. Well, they're both famous for the same
picture. Yeah.
moment in
Kinda
history.
thing. Well,
Right?
and I think what it was too is they both had a big respect for running as a sport.
Mm. There you go. That's fair.
So they had that common ground. Um,
Interesting. Did
right.
anybody ever ask her about, because when you're running, they pack, right? I know enough about
Mm.
running to be dangerous, so don't quote me. I'm not clearly not a runner. But like you run with a pack and then you go to the next pack as you sprint off or they sprint off or whatever. You don't think any of those men were saying things or people or
Oh.
anything? Like, there's talking. They're
She
not just
actually
silent.
said that everybody around her, at least in the part of the race she was in, was being extremely supportive. Like,
Okay.
they were
Nice.
super thrilled. They were like, "Hey, it's a woman. This is so cool." They were asking her questions like, "How can I get my wife into running?" There was one man that insisted he get his photo taken with her. And she actually came to the race with her trainer,
Mm-hmm.
her
Mhm.
boyfriend at the time, and another person from the running club that she was in, where she trained. So she had a little bit of a crew, and then the starters around her actually were all very supportive. It was actually just the race official, and then actually the media was not very supportive. They were
Well,
a
they
little
were looking for a
antagonistic towards
story, I'm sure.
her. Yeah,
Mm.
right. So yeah, great question, Julie. But the pod she was in
Yeah.
was not a threat to her.
Mhm.
Okay. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
which is really
And
cool.
because I know when I know runners and they talk about the talk, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that's you're there and
Yeah.
you're going to talk to people.
Well,
Mhm.
and I love that because I feel like runners are a community too.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That probably largely just has an interest altogether. I'm sure there are factions of it.
Sure.
And I think this kind of reads into today too, of you have a few people that are spewing hate
Yeah.
and division, but the majority of people are more supportive and alike with each other than they are different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you
Angry
have,
people are loud.
yes, but you
Happy
have this
people are
race
loud.
where most of the other competitors actually are fine with a woman being there, but you have the people that are actually in charge of it that don't want to open those doors. I really see that in this situation.
Mhm.
Mhm. It's
Like
So,
very
we're really that
metaphorical.
threatening. Yeah.
right,
Yeah. I could see how a woman runner could be threatening to the rest of the men in the race.
right.
Especially if she does pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, and down the road, women runners, they probably face this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But I think at this point in time, this was 1967.
Yeah.
I think it hadn't entered their mind that she could be good. You know what I
Sure. They
mean?
haven't seen
Yeah.
it, right?
Mm-mm.
Right. I think for them that they just thought this was really a cool novelty and they were okay with being supportive because they weren't threatened.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, to your point, Julie, I'm not a runner and I don't know many runners. So probably there are women out there that can share experiences where men were not welcoming
Yeah.
in competitive
Mm-hmm.
experiences or were threatening, which is unfortunate, but in competition, sometimes that brings out the ugly in people.
Mhm.
So I don't doubt that that happened, but like at this point in time, I've looked at a few interviews with Kathrine on YouTube, and no women were running long distances. Basically, her and
Okay.
maybe a handful of others, including the other woman that entered the race without a bib, without a number,
Yeah.
um, because at the time it was thought that women were too weak, that it would not be good for them. It would make them overly muscular.
Mhm.
Their uteruses would fall out.
Yep.
Of course,
They
that
just
That's what
wandering
I was gonna
uterus.
say.
Yeah.
the uterus would always
All
like
the
it
the
just was not
vibration,
physically
it'll just come out.
possible
Yeah.
for them to do this,
The same
right?
arguments they use now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
So much.
Yeah, except the uterus one. Maybe they dropped that one, but probably not. I'm
They
sure
s-
there's
they
somebody who
s-
believes that.
they
Yeah.
still don't understand how that works.
Yeah.
And just to give you a vision of kind of where we are and who Catherine is, she was actually born in 1949. And even though she's uh, from the United States, she's a United States citizen. She was actually born in Germany because her father's in the military.
Oh, okay.
So he was posted in Germany, so she was born there. However, a few years after her birth, they moved back to the States, and she was raised in Virginia and went to school there. She attended Lynchburg College and then Syracuse University. And it was Syracuse University where she was studying journalism and English that she became interested in running, but there were no organizations for women to run and train. So she ended up getting permission to train with the men's cross country team.
Mm.
So, and it was there that she met Arnie Briggs, who I love him as a supporter and mentor for Catherine. She obviously had a really nice relationship with him, even though like you can see he had he had this dodgy old manness that like we can almost find adorable, but challenge, but appreciate him because he can change his mind when he realizes he's wrong. You know what I mean?
He's the Tommy Lee Jones of the situation.
Right?
I went to Burgess Meredith and Rocky.
Oh, you could, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You know, he's seen some things, but he's supportive in his weird Popeye way.
Right.
Arr.
And I think
Women
you can-
weaken legs.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think
that's
you
my
can
Burgess Meredith.
envision this because it was while on a run of training with him that Kathrine brought up wanting to do the Boston Marathon because it was something that Arnie had done multiple times and talked about all the time. And he said that women were too fragile to run 26 miles.
Even he said that?
Couldn't do it. And and Kathrine said, well, I'm already running 10 miles in training with you. I know I can do this. And he said, well, if any woman could do a 26-mile run, a marathon, it would be you. And if you could prove it to me in practice that you could do it, I'd be the first to take you to Boston.
Oh, I like that challenge.
Oh,
Right.
he had a growth moment.
Yeah. He
So
left
they
the door
started
open for that,
training
right?
together. And I love this. Like, there's a few places online you can find. Kathrine has written 2 books, and one of them is kind of her autobiography. And in it, she talks about like a very in-depth look at that time of running the marathon and the prep before it. And she just really spells it all out. And I love her words where she talks about training with Arnie in that time period. So I highly encourage anybody to look that up if you want to hear all of that in her own words.
That's awesome.
But she talks about training with him, and the first time in training, they got to 26 miles and they got there and she still felt great. So she said, let's keep going. And she kept running, and by the end of it, he was like white as a sheet and like passing out or puking. I can't remember what he said, but he was like the one having more of a trouble because he was also at this point like a 50-year-old man, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And she's 20 at
Yeah.
this point in time.
In
right?
1967, you said?
Yeah, 1967.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
50 looked different back then.
so she meets that goal and decides to enter the 1967 Boston Marathon. She enters as a KV. Why am I suddenly Switzer? KV Switzer, and it was common for her to use her initials. So I don't know how diabolical that part was because her name's
Right.
misspelled on her birth certificate.
Oh.
But I think, she had to know that she was making, a radical, defiant choice, right?
Yeah. She was
'Cause she
allowing
knew
for
it was
leeway.
getting
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why women, even when they publish, right, only
Yeah.
use initials or
Just to
Right.
leave it open, just in case, like, you could think it's female or male as a name, and
Yeah.
if that matters to you, initials allow you to have that.
anonymity and sure.
Don't
that
hurt
word.
yourself, kid.
That word, whatever it was. Aluminum.
Yes, aluminium.
So close.
So she went down to Boston for the marathon. She brought Arnie, of course, her trainer. And she also brought one of the other men from cross country, John. And she brought her boyfriend at the time, Tom. He was like an all-American linebacker, big old, maybe not a linebacker. I think he threw like discus. I don't know, some like beefy type sporty thing.
Yeah.
And he hadn't been
Yes.
training.
The sporty model.
Yeah. Some kind of fitness beefiness. I don't know,
Kid.
Tom. By the time I read her account of the race, I was pretty pissed about Tom. So shut up, Tom.
Fair.
But
I'm not
Tom,
the only one that has internal conversations with other characters. So thank
right?
you for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shut up, Tom.
Yeah.
But he entered last minute and he hadn't been training, but he was basically like, if you can run 26 miles, I can run 26 miles.
Oh, I can see why you're angry at him.
Oh, it's more than that, but yes, right?
Poor Tom. He never saw it coming, did he?
He doesn't see much coming, I'm guessing, but I don't know.
I bet
I
he's
mean-
beautiful though.
Oh, but he's
Yeah.
pretty.
He does play a helpful role. I'll
Okay.
give it to Tom. There is a helpful moment for Tom.
Sweet.
So, okay. Anyway,
You take the good,
We
you
will
take the bad, and there you have the
Yes.
facts of Tom.
Yes, the facts of Tom.
they get to Boston the night before. Wake up, have a big old carb loading breakfast, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't run any time of the day, but I cannot imagine running on a sloshy stomach, but more power to him.
Mhm.
The guys go and pick up Catherine's bib number. So I do believe she knew how defiant she was being. There was
Mhm.
subterfuge going on, right?
Yeah.
Um, she dressed with earrings, lipstick. She was not working to hide that she was a
Yeah.
woman.
Right.
In fact, some of her members of her posse were like, "Why are you wearing lipstick?" And she was like, "I always wear lipstick.
Yeah.
Why am I going to change that?" Right? She had even thought she'd start the race in her shorts and her tank top, advertising fully that she was a woman. However, we are talking sleet and snow.
Yeah. It was too cold for that.
In
Yeah.
Right.
Boston,
She was
it hits different in Boston. I've been in that sleet.
Yeah.
It's cold.
right.
Yeah.
The wind, I'm sure.
Yeah. It might burn your face a little.
I know.
Crispy.
Yeah.
So she kept on her sweatshirt, her hoodie, her sweatpants, and she had her hood up. So amongst other reasons, I think that's one of the reasons that it was like between 2 and 4 miles in before the officials realized a woman was running in the race.
Mhm.
Um, and even though we've talked about how the members around her were supportive, she had a great start to the race. It was at that moment that she was attacked. Um, and it had a really profound impact on her because it was actually the first time in her life she felt like she was exposed to physical violence.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a really traumatic experience. What happened was, he grabbed her. She got away and he grabbed her again. This is a quote from her memoir. Instinctively, I jerked my head around quickly and looked square into the most vicious face I've ever seen. A big man, a huge man, with bared teeth, was set to pounce. And before I could react, he grabbed my shoulder and flung me back, screaming, "Get the hell out of my race and give me those numbers."
Mhm.
At which point,
Terrifying.
Arnie, her trainer, tried to get him. His name is Jock. Of
Mhm.
course it is, right? What a villain name.
The jock is Jock.
Yeah. His name's Jock Simple. Tried to get Jock to let go and was pushed aside, and he's kind of a little guy. But after that, Big Tom, her current beau, totally linebackered Jock and knocked him out.
Nice.
And
Good.
he
Good
really
job.
Wow.
yelled at
Mhm.
her to run. So she was able to get away, fall back into the pack, and keep running. But I won't get super into it because I think it's worth reading in her own words. But she really talks about how at that time she felt so defeated.
Mm.
She was embarrassed. She
Mhm.
was scared that Jock was hurt and they were all going to get arrested. Like so many of those worries and thoughts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then there was also the thought that if she gave up now, everybody would say it was a stunt and women couldn't run 26 miles.
Yeah. They would hunker down more on it, right? Yeah.
So as she kept running, she realized that energy turned into anger,
Mhm.
that she had to show them that she had to do this for all women athletes, all women that wanted to run, all women that could be empowered by running in the future. She
Mm.
had to finish this race.
Yeah. And that she
Um,
could do it because she has done more than 26 miles before.
she
So.
absolutely
Mhm.
has,
Mm.
but she definitely had many roadblocks. She even mentioned when Jock grabbed her, she was so scared and startled she peed herself a little.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you
He
do.
he
Yeah.
Mhm.
also grabbed and pulled
First
off
you
one of her
say it.
gloves,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and we're talking it's already snowing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also, the physical discomfort that comes with running 26 miles. Now imagine it with your hand stinging from the cold
Mhm.
Mhm.
because she's down a glove.
Yep.
Then, as they are running away from this situation, her boyfriend Tom realizes what he's done and freaks out because he wants to go to the Olympics. And
Mm.
he says, "I'm going to get in trouble for this, and it's all your fault, and I'm never getting into the Olympics." And he runs
Tom.
off, pissed. So now she
Ugh.
thinks she's broken up with her boyfriend
Mm.
and is shame spiraling, even though she's like, "I didn't ask you to do that. I didn't want you
Mhm.
to do that.
Yeah.
That was your decision, right?"
Mhm.
I have to tell you, as she's getting angry and coming around and morale is raising for Arnie and her other running partner, John, they eventually catch back up with Tom
Mhm.
in this marathon and he's walking and he asks them to slow down and walk with him.
Mm.
And she says, "I'm sorry, I cannot lose momentum."
Mhm.
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 And he says, As she runs away to her back, he yells, "I would never leave you."
But he did. But he did.
He did. He
What a
absolutely did,
short
didn't he?
memory.
We had to catch up to you.
Because you left. Interesting. Okay.
And nothing against Kathrine. In the 20s, we're all like, it's complicated. We're all learning ourselves. She did eventually marry Tom, but it
Gotcha.
only lasted 5 years. Because I think
Yeah.
right there at the marathon, we saw the true Tom, and
Yeah.
she's a smart lady. She figured it out.
That's fair.
She figured it out
So
faster than I did with my ex.
we all eventually
One of us
figure it out,
One of
We
us
right?
all
is smarter
learn
than the other.
Mhm.
eventually.
We all date some horrible dudes in our
Yeah,
20s.
yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So she finished with a time of, I think it was like 4 hours, 20 minutes, something like that. Got across the finish line. They were still pissed at her, obviously, but they did have one of the doctors check out her feet. They were like bloody mess. She did talk to a few reporters there at the end. Finished it. She felt, exhilarated, amazing. Her team and crew went, and they actually waited and got Tom. He finished an hour after them.
That's cool. I'm glad he finished.
Good job, Tom.
Yep, they got Tom. Cool.
I was hoping he was one of the last ones.
Good job, Big Tom.
You're on the golf cart. They got to pick you up.
Well, he's being a gentleman. He's letting the ladies finish first.
Sure. He didn't practice on nothing.
My guess is it's the only time he did that. What?
Mhm.
Sorry.
Bravo.
Oopsie.
Truth.
But they all got together and ate dinner with some friends and celebrated, had like a wonderful night, but then started heading back to New York, to Syracuse. And they stopped at a diner to get like some coffee and sweets. And it was then that she realized that, like, she felt like this was big, but it was then that it really hit her because she saw her pictures all over the newspaper. She saw a man reading the newspaper, and she like ran over to him, like scaring him to death, and was like, "May I see your newspaper?" And she saw pictures of herself being attacked by Jock. She saw pictures of herself finishing with her bloody feet. And she just realized how huge this is, and realized that it could become really an opportunity, I think, to start this revolution of having women be able to participate in running with men, in sports with men.
Yeah.
And she just has really, I wouldn't say she dedicated her life to it, but it became a huge part of her life.
Yeah.
Like, she
It
did
opened a
huge
door.
things with it. It opened doors. She also still did stuff with her journalism and reporting. So she was influential in starting some women's only races. She was influential well, the year after she competed, they officially made it illegal for women to compete in the Boston Marathon. They nipped it and said, no, can't happen. However, she kept pushing with other women, advocating, pushing against that. And 5 years later, after her run, they let women start joining.
Yay.
She opened the doors for other races. She was hugely influential in having the women's marathon enter the Olympics. She said that's the thing she's most proud of.
Yeah.
She also served as a commentator on a lot of different marathons, voicing that and reporting on it and talking about it. And she has also started a nonprofit called 261. I need to make sure I get it right.
Because that's her number, her badge number.
It is her badge number, 261. Where is it?
Let's hope she
Let's
still has
pray
that
for
badge
viewers.
somewhere. I hope she still has that badge. I'm sure she does, but
I think she does. I think I've seen a picture, a
Have you?
modern picture of her, at least
Yeah.
with it or with a recreation. It is just a paper, you know what I
Right.
mean, with
Yeah,
a
just the
261 on it. But
yeah.
but the
No, I feel like
tornness,
you guys are gonna love this. I want to make sure I get the name of her organization, so I'm gonna find it real quick.
It's okay.
But she actually competed in 2017 as a 70-year-old at the 50th anniversary of her running it.
Wow.
Oh.
She ran it with her number 261, and after she ran it, they retired her number.
Oh,
So no one
such a
else will
Jersey.
use
That's
that
great.
number,
Yeah,
Look at that.
that's
Nice.
cool. That's a full circle moment.
Yeah.
isn't it?
They don't
Isn't that so
usually
cool?
retire the numbers of marathons because it's sequential. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's
Nice.
261 Fearless is her nonprofit.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
And it helps
261
train
Fearless.
other women as coaches to start women's running groups, women's only running groups.
Oh, nice.
And from what I read about it, it sounds like the focus is to be very inclusive of all ability levels and all women, because she feels like running is one of the most accessible things a lot of women can do, because there's not
Yeah.
necessarily equipment, things needed,
Mhm.
but she feels like it can be very empowering. Like
Yeah.
women can see themselves. She's always felt like very empowered by it, so she wants to provide that for other women.
And
Nice.
bonus for alone time if you can arrange that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
And she, as far as her records, I think she's done like 10 or 12 marathons total in her life. She came in 1974 first for women in the New York City Marathon.
Nice.
Her best time at the 1975 Boston Marathon, I believe that was,
The first.
okay, it was
No.
maybe the second year with women in it,
Okay.
something like that. Her best time there was 2 hours and 51 minutes, which was a third place
Damn.
finish for,
Damn.
I think it was a third place finish overall, maybe not
She's
just
going
for
from like
women.
4.5 hours to 2.
Well, she
Two.
was
That's
being
nuts.
stopped and kind of assaulted while she was doing the 4-hour version.
Jeez.
But
But to
that's
cut
a
it like
good
in
time.
half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
Have you ever did you see any interviews with her? Like
Yes, I did.
TV interviews? She's so like cool. She's a cool cucumber. Do you know what I
She
mean?
is.
She's a pretty neat lady, but she's so like cool. You know what I mean?
She
She's
is.
one of those people you look at and you're like, wow, you have your shit together. You know what I mean?
And she attributes a lot of that to her running. And I know running's not for everybody. I don't think it'll ever be for me. I've tried couch to 4K. Maybe someday I could be a little bit of a hippopotamus swimmer in a more energetic way.
I
We
like
all
it.
kind of have. I'm not made for land, I'm made for water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I can see how like physically accomplishing something with your body can make you feel good.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I
Mhm.
understand how she feels like that gives her like a real sense of accomplishment, is empowering, helps her even mentally and regulating. And I think that's with her nonprofit, something she's hoping she can share with others.
Yeah.
That's
I do
awesome.
love that.
Yeah. But I love that she's so defiant that she's like, you think my uterus is going to fall out? Let me show you.
And if it
Mhm.
does, guess what? I'll pick it up later. It's fine.
Exactly.
It's
I'll
fine.
go to the medic along with looking at my feet.
Yeah, yeah. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That always cracks me up what men really thinks. They don't
They don't
have
know.
no idea
No.
at all. God bless their little hearts. Aren't they precious?
Right.
What other saying can I say?
So cute.
Yeah, you're so cute. I love her. She's so cool. She's neat.
Amazing. I'm glad she's finally gotten covered on the podcast. Just,
I
Yeah.
think it's funny they had to double check you to make sure.
Mm.
I've been listening to the podcast from the very first one backwards to the new
Mhm.
ones, and I'm only on 34. So
It's a lot of episodes.
Wow.
I got
We're
a lot
nearing
of episodes.
300 almost now.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yep. I know. Trust me, and you keep
Mhm.
adding.
Right, exactly.
Wait, I'm part of the problem,
You
aren't
are. Mhm.
I? Don't be part of the problem. Be the whole problem. That's my motto.
There you go. I like it.
No,
Or
I like.
enjoy the problem as you have it.
Yeah, no, she's a neat lady though, and like I said, I mentioned the
Yeah.
interviews because I have. I mean, in the
She's
past,
still alive today. Yeah, that's the
yes,
thing.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen her, and
Yeah.
she's just a cool chick, man.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
She's very, very cool. I definitely encourage anyone who enjoyed hearing about her to go read in her own words her experience at the marathon.
yeah,
And she does have her book about her
Hmm.
own life, which covers that time. And she has a book, which I think I definitely want to check out. Oh my gosh, I got to look it up. I thought the title was kind of funny. And who knows, sometimes I like to get delusional, like maybe I could run somewhere, even though I
Right.
fall down just walking. But it's a book about running for women over 40, which hello.
Oh,
Mm.
nice. I like it.
That would be me.
I know that we have, I'll buy you some time.
but
Gal's Guide does have in the collection her Marathon Woman biography. So check out your local library. And also when we reopen, it is in our collection. But the other book is, did I buy Katie enough time? See what I was trying to do?
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
other book is, oh, it just says running and walking for women over 40, but I swear there was like a clever tagline that I saw somewhere.
Gotcha.
That was something about it being for good and for vanity. And I liked that she said also for vanity, because I'm like, yeah. We all want to be healthy, but come on now. It's also vanity, right?
So whatever gets you moving, right?
Sure. Sure.
Sweet. I like it. I'll have to look for her other one for the library collection. Sweet. Well, on that note, did you want to wrap us up, Katie?
I would be happy to wrap us up. Thanks for listening to my story. I am going to find the ending. Blah, 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 blah. Well, that wraps it up for us this week. Join us next week as another Defiant Gal is picked to share as Gal's Guide podcast continues. Thanks for listening.
That's another chapter in our Rebel era. Thanks for being here. If you loved learning about women's history today, don't stop. Discover even more wise gals and untold stories at galsguide.org. Until next time, keep sharing women's stories.